Here we go. Hi Jenny, how you doing?
Hi, great. Thanks, Mike. I'm all right.
Good, good, good. Yeah, I just want to spend this next 15 to 20 minutes just to go through your experience of working with me on the 100-day alcohol-free program in the hope that I can maybe help somebody else who is also wondering about committing to an alcohol-free coaching program. So if it's okay with you, we can jump straight in. And of course, I've known you now for like 5 months because we finished working together like about a month and a half ago. And just before we started this, you just told me you're 148 days alcohol free now, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So well over the 100 days. And yeah, just a few little kind of bits and pieces that I wanted to cover in the hope that I can help somebody else. So, what was the biggest challenge or frustration before we started working together?
The biggest frustration was the daily failure, the monologue in my head that went on in the morning of I'm not going to drink today. I'm definitely not going to drink today. And this is what I'm going to do instead of drinking. And then that switch being flicked at sort of early evening, late afternoon, early evening. And every single day, certainly for the last 3 months before I stopped drinking, 4 months, I didn't have a single day off. And that wasn't because I didn't want a single day off. It was that failure and the frustration of the next day going through the same process. It was like Groundhog Day.
Mm, yeah, so yeah, real sense of frustration because you wanted to get out of the loop, but you couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so what made you decide to invest in the work with me?
Okay, so the thing that appealed to me, I think you came up as a suggested post on Instagram because I already followed a few other alcohol-free people, sober stories and things. But it was the introvert part of your name that drew me to you because I am an introvert, and that it is quite a almost a niche, or not a niche thing, but it's a very valuable thing that not we're not all extroverts. My drinking was never social drinking. It was never going out drinking. It was the quietly at home drinking. Um, and I just thought, well, maybe he might get that. So
Yeah.
that was that was the first thing that I thought. Oh yeah, and in the end, I yeah, when I decided to go for it, it was some money that was left to me by my mum that I wanted to use a little bit of that to pay for the course. And I felt that would make myself far more accountable than if I'd paid for it in it from my wages or whatever else.
Yeah, amazing. And I remember you doing that, and I think that really sort of drove you to be able to really stay on this track because at the start, I remember like I get a lot of clients that say, I don't know if I can do this. And it
Yeah,
felt like that was the extra commitment device to allow you to sort of push through this.
definitely. It really, really was. Yeah, and I didn't know. I was worried when we started that I'd be your first failure. I really didn't think I could do it, but I was determined that I had nothing else to lose. That I was going to give it all I'd got to try.
Yeah, it's amazing, and that's it, isn't it? It's just what just can do what you can do, and it was day by day, week by week,
Yeah.
and it was great to see the change on every one of our sessions and the difference that you were finding being alcohol free and the benefits it was bringing into your life.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. So, what were your initial thoughts or feelings during our first few sessions of working together, Jenny?
Um, I came into it very, very scared, very, very frightened, really, frightened of failure, not frightened of you.
Yeah,
But that I felt like you had my back. The the checkup emails in the early evening when you knew when my trigger time was, and just the check-ins on WhatsApp, how you doing, how you feeling. I didn't feel alone in it. I felt like, yeah, you'd really there was someone who really cared that, yeah, that could say, how are you, what you feeling,
Mm,
what are your thoughts, all that sort of thing. And I could offload it if I was having a wobbly day.
yeah.
Um, I could offload it to you, which was massively important.
Brilliant. That's great to hear. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because in this age of AI and kind of chatbots and so on, to have another human, even though we always worked remotely, to have another human sort of by your side, cheering you on, having had coaching therapy myself, it means the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And particularly that the timing of it in those first few weeks was really important because beforehand, when I tried to stop drinking, it was always that when that switch flicks and you go, sod it, I don't care. I know all the tips that I thought of this morning. I know you know the theory. Most people who are trying to drink look into it and know the theory, but that just goes out the window when that switch is flicked. And it was having somebody that somehow prevented that switch going because
Mm,
it didn't get that far.
mm.
I could, it was I could talk myself out, or you could not talk me out of it, but I knew that I would be okay once I'd offloaded it, and I never needed to get to that point.
Yeah, yeah. There is a real kind of combination between that, what you said, the theory, and the actual doing it. And it's only in the
Mm.
doing it that we gain the confidence, I think.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And almost that handhold of, come
yeah,
on, you can do this. I'm going to be
yeah,
checking in on you tonight. And it's like,
yeah,
which then made me think, yes, I can do this. And if I wobble, then I can just tell Mike that I'm having a wobble and it'll
yeah,
be okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. And what specific breakthroughs or results have you experienced when we was working together?
Um, I think it was the numbing effect of drinking, which is what I sought, was that switch off, that silence, that
Mm,
shutting down of all those emotions. That was what I was seeking.
yeah.
Wasn't worth it. It
Mm,
was the payoff. What just wasn't it? The negatives were just too massive, and when we did the exercises, that I had to really stop and think about what did drinking give me, what did not drinking give me.
mm,
Um, it becomes a no-brainer when you see it and when you live it as well and start to appreciate the effects, the amazing sleep without having 2 hours lying awake anxious in the middle of the night because you've woke up and your heart's beating madly and you panic about everything. I don't ever want to go back to that.
that's great to hear. And the next question I've got, you may have answered parts of it within the last one, but how have the sessions impacted your personal life, professional life, or overall well-being?
Yeah, I have partly answered it. Sorry.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I am so much better, happier.
Mm.
I'm physically healthier. I know my resting heart rate. I have a Fitbit, so I always look what my resting heart rate is.
Yeah.
And that's 9 beats lower than it used to be a
Wow.
minute.
Wow.
So I
Very
dropped
good.
from 72 to 63.
Amazing.
Um, yeah, I've lost over half a stone without dieting. That's just not drinking and
Wow.
not eating the sweets that I used to eat when I was drinking as well, I
Yeah.
suppose. But oh yeah, I'll eat that.
Mm.
And I nothing else. No, I didn't try and diet or anything. It was literally just the not drinking has made me lose that. And that's over Christmas too. It's not gone back on,
Amazing.
which is
Brilliant.
always a bonus. But yeah, better sleep, fantastic sleep. I
Mm.
so appreciate the sleep.
Mm.
But the mental gains have been far better than the physical ones in a way for me. Just that
Mm.
peace,
Mm.
that not constantly having the little argument in my own head of shall I drink tonight, shall I not drink tonight, or I could drink, I could just have one, which I knew would always fail. But just not even thinking about it. It's not an issue. It doesn't come up in my thoughts in the day at all.
Mm.
So it's given me so much more headspace.
Yeah.
Um, and being proud of myself, which
Yeah.
is somebody who struggles with, I do struggle with self-esteem and self-confidence and all those things. Um, but to actually know I've achieved this, I've done this, is it's incredibly empowering, really, to think, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could, but I did. Is
Amazing.
great.
It's amazing. And I remember you saying about, and thanks for being so vulnerable about kind of struggling a little bit with your self-esteem and then seeing the change in yourself. It was yeah, it was lovely to see.
Yeah, I do. I feel generally more confident. You can't knock off 50 odd years of that overnight, but I do generally feel better about myself and
Yeah.
like myself that little bit more.
Yeah, lovely. And was there one moment during our time working together, Jenny, that it all kind of clicked? And I say that in as much as there was a time for me when it got to sort of along my alcohol-free journey, about 80, 90 days, there was a pull which was kind of further away from alcohol than towards. I'm just curious, was there a time when it sort of clicked for you?
I can't remember a specific moment, but I think yes, definitely it probably was in December. So yeah, similar sort of timing, I guess. Yeah, 70, 80 days where, and particularly with my 100 days falling just before Christmas, the run up to that 100 days obviously was surrounded by alcohol.
Mm,
But in that run up, I think I didn't want it, and
mm,
even though over Christmas, when I had the holidays, that was a bit trickier. But before Christmas, definitely, um,
mm.
yeah, yeah, that realization that it's not for me anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It's and good timing. I remember having the conversation when I think somebody either bought you a bottle of wine or you won a bottle of wine or something, and that was
That's
kind of a bit of
right.
a
Yeah,
curveball.
yeah. What am I going to do with this? I don't want it in the house. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, just I guess the final question is, what would you say to somebody who's sat on the fence, who's thinking about working with an alcohol-free coach? What would you say to them?
I would say it is so worth it. Do it, do it, do it. And I think it's okay and it's normal to be afraid of it.
Mm,
I suspect most of your clients probably are, if I'm honest. I'm sure they are. And that fear that you're not going to be able to do it is is just, I think, your addiction telling you that, because there's that little part of your brain that's addicted that doesn't want to stop. But actually,
mm,
you can. If I never thought, I honestly, at the point at which before I contacted you, thought that I was doomed to just drink till I rotted my liver. I really did. I did not see any way out of it. I felt I was in a downward spiral. But what had I got to lose? And I would say to anybody else, what have you got to lose?
mm,
The worst that can happen is that you're going to spend a couple of bottles of wine, a few bottles of wine worth of money.
mm.
But it's
Yeah,
certainly a better way to spend it.
yeah.
And it's amazing. Until you try, you don't know, but it's incredible.
Mm. Well, really appreciate your time, Jenny. Really appreciate it. And yeah, keep in touch with your alcohol-free journey.
I will
Take
do.
care.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.